What's going on, guys? I'm back with another Rocky episode. Today, we're going to be talking about what seems to be a pretty mixed bag to some, but what I find to be a close to perfect direct sequel, Rocky 2. So because I'm such a Rocky nerd, where I believe I'm pound for pound the biggest Rocky fan on the planet, I want to dive into some of the cool nuggets of information like I did in the last review. So if you don't want to be bored with that again, skip to this timestamp. The first nugget comes from Sly being in the director's chair. To most, including myself, I was a bit surprised to come to realize that Sly was picked to direct this film, not only because he stars in it, but because of his lack of experience behind and in front of the camera. It's sort of funny because just how he had a campaign for the studio to take on his first project, he formulated a similar game plan to the producers and studios on board to allow him to direct this film. With him coming off his first directorial film in Paradise Alley, it didn't really seem like he was the best choice because that film really didn't do all the greatest. But because of his drive and passion for this role in this story, basically it being his baby, he was able to get everyone on board to allow him to direct this film, and if I'm honest, I think he did a pretty good job with all things considered. The next interesting nugget is the amount of rewrites this film went through. There are a couple of things that weren't planned in the original script, like Rocky switching from Southpaw to Orthodox, as well as Talia Shire not being present at the final fight. Stallone actually tore his pectoral muscle, needing to get surgery on it, so to enable him to do the boxing scenes, they implemented him going Orthodox to take some strain off of that left shoulder. I thought that was pretty cool. As far as Talia goes, she was doing another movie at the time. I'm just not exactly sure what it was. I don't think it was Godfather Part 2. Regardless, as well as doing this one, so she had a limited time to shoot towards the end of this film, so they rewrote it as the doctor said that she wasn't healthy enough to go to the fight, and if I'm honest, that truly worked out for the better, because we got one of the best Rocky moments of the entire franchise with the "Adrian, I did it" speech. Alright, now my little nerd speech aside, let's dive into the film. When it comes to Stallone's direction, it may not be as visually striking as John G. Avildsen's work, but he managed to capture a remarkably similar tone and style. Stallone infused some of the shots with a distinct personality reminiscent of Avildsen's approach. While certain sequences appeared conventional, there were many exceptional camera suggestions aimed at evoking specific emotions. For instance, the quiet shot of Rocky sweeping out the boxing ring after everyone leaves symbolizes his feelings of loneliness and despair. Another notable example is the close-up shot of Adrian standing on the stairs pregnant. She doesn't say anything, but her face and demeanor conveys her betrayal and disappointment in Rocky's decision to go against her wishes and continue to box. While it was unlikely that this film would secure another Oscar for Best Picture, I believe Stallone demonstrated exceptional competence behind the camera. With the story, as we all know, this is a direct sequel to the first film, which started a trend for the first 5 films, transforming it into an anthology series. I'm glad they decided not to make this a part 1 and part 2, as watching a nearly 4-hour boxing film could be quite daunting. However, they could have easily slapped on part 1 and part 2 on the titles, and no one would have blinked an eye, because it does such a great job of playing off everything from the first film. While this one beautifully plays off of the first installment, this very much still feels like its own movie with its natural progression. Like the first film, it still feels like a character study as to why it works so well, but it equally does a good job of making a story-driven film as well, while all the subplots play into the characters and their progression. Now, that's not to say the first film didn't have any stakes, but it certainly felt safer because Rocky essentially had nothing to lose. However, in this film, they certainly upped the ante and incorporated more stakes, including Rocky's health being at risk, their financial troubles, and Adrian being pregnant and facing significant complications. This film moves at a blink of an eye, so if you look away for even a moment, you easily could miss something. Despite its speed, it does an amazing job of creating a very cohesive and tightly woven narrative. As for the characters, they all felt a lot more relaxed this time around, but not in a way that they didn't care. Not like they were tight or confined in the last film, but simply coming off of one film, these actors and actresses felt more comfortable in their roles. They all received decent to great character development, which made us even more interested in their journey, especially from Rocky and Adrian's characters. Rocky goes through a lot of self-discovery and almost a complete rebranding of himself. Adrian, on the other hand, gets more to do this time around as well, becoming even more of a safe space for Rocky and trying to build a family for them. It's truly beautiful. As for Rocky, sure, he may be simple-minded, but he certainly becomes more mature in this role. He's willing to put his wants aside to build a family with Adrian and support his family in the best way possible. He always tried to do right by them, almost feeling like he got a second chance at life in a way. I thought it was really fun watching him become more mature and family-oriented, rather than being just a dumbbell. However, he still has that poor kid mentality, getting overly excited over little things that he couldn't do or afford before. Like I just mentioned before, in a way, it almost feels like a brand new character while still having the same foundation. However, with his maturity, Rocky faces a lot of harsh realities of life and is forced to make decisions that only enhance his great character development. As for Sylvester Stallone as an actor, he may not be everyone's cup of tea outside of his Rocky character, but to me, I think he's pretty dang good. He's not Tom Cruise or Harrison Ford, but Stallone in this role, he may as well be. He's very charming and charismatic where he needs to be, as well as selling these emotional and dramatic beats very well. As for Talia Shire as Adrian, she gets a lot of color this time around as well. She's able to flex her brain power and try to help lead and guide Rocky to the right decisions, trying to keep him grounded and safe. The creators, particularly Stallone, excel in developing Adrian's character, creating a safe haven for Rocky and amplifying the sense of unwavering support. Subtle cues reveal this dynamic. For instance, when their relationship falters, Rocky's personal and professional life suffers, leading him into a slump. Conversely, during the strong moments, all he needs is her presence to unleash his full potential. Their bond stands as one of cinema's finest, a joy to witness due to the numerous heartwarming and sentimental moments they share. Another standout character is Burgess Meredith as Mickey. In my opinion, his best moment comes in Rocky 1. However, in this film, he dominates the screen, showcasing his incredible dynamic between them. They really enhance those moments of Mickey giving Rocky the business, delivering that tough love, while also weaving in sentimental moments that demonstrate his unwavering loyalty, similar to the Adrian character. Lastly, I wanted to highlight Carl Weathers as Apollo Creed, who plays more of a prominent role this time around. A solo revenge story unfolds in his life, where he seeks to prove that Rocky's victory in the first film was merely a fluke, hence the Southpaw jinx. In the first movie, Apollo was the epitome of popularity. However, this time, the roles of Rocky and Apollo almost get reversed in a way, with Apollo facing criticism and ridicule. To navigate this challenge, he basically kind of resorts to rage-baiting Rocky into a rematch, attempting to silence the noise. This echoes Muhammad Ali's persona in the film, evident in his trash talk and his ring style. When it comes to the writing, this film is just as sharp as the last installment. Sylvester Stallone does an excellent job of balancing the differing tones, ranging from drama to comedy, and incorporating numerous emotional beats. Rocky simply wouldn't be Rocky without his dry sense of humor and laughs throughout the film, which is very present here and works just as well as the first movie. However, this film truly resonates with its dramatic and emotional moments, particularly regarding family, loss, and sacrifices. As for the boxing and training sequences, in some respects, they were maybe better than the last one. Some may argue that the training in this film is superior, not only because it's more extensive, but also because of the dramatic setup from the hospital scene. These training sequences effectively embody the Rocky theme, showcasing his hard-nosed work ethic, community involvement, and fighting for his family, as well as the beautiful score. Once again, the score is well utilized, similar to the first film, but with a slight variation. While the first film featured a beautiful piano score for the somber moments and trumpets for the high moments, this film incorporates drums as well as the trumpets, adding a touch of life and motivation to these scenes. When it comes to the actual boxing scenes, to me, they were more action-packed and arguably even better in terms of shot selection, making you feel as if you were right there in the ring. Stallone effectively captures Apollo Creed's hatred and determination, making him a more formidable opponent this time around. These scenes are extremely entertaining and unpredictable due to the frequent shifts in momentum and the climactic closing round. As for my criticisms, I really only have a few. My first nitpick is with some of the comedy. Now, I genuinely appreciate how Sly has fully developed this character, which essentially launched his career, and essentially, it's his baby. However, this film can sometimes feel a bit forced with its humor. The comedy in the previous film felt very natural, but in this one, it feels like they try to add more humor, which works well in some instances, but sometimes it comes across as excessive and forced. My second concern is primarily with the technical aspects of the film. As I mentioned, it's very fast-paced, so sometimes the editing can be quite choppy. Things move from one thing to the next very quickly, as if they were trying to cram in as many ideas as possible. Lastly, I have an issue with the post-production additions, such as like the ADR. Sometimes the ADR doesn't quite match up with the actors' mouths, and it can be quite noticeable on a few occasions. Additionally, the sound effects are effective, but sometimes they feel a bit too over the top and dramatic. Overall, like I said at the top of the video, Rocky 2 is a damn near perfect direct sequel. I absolutely adore this film, where it always gets the emotions going. Rocky 2 gets an 8 out of 10 from me. Let me know what you think about Rocky 2 in the comments below, and stay tuned for Rocky 3. See you guys in the next one.